last lecture, we have collected the information regarding Marathi Bhakas and medieval history. Today, we are going to move towards the historiography in the modern period. So, historiography in modern period. As we know, in the 20th century, the Indian archaeological exploration and research started under the British rule. A number of ancient sites were excavated, as we can see in the picture, under the supervision of Alexander Cunningham, the first Director General of Archaeological Survey of India. So here we can see in the 20th century the Indian archaeological exploration and research started under the British rule. A number of ancient sites were excavated under the supervision of Sir Alexander Cunningham, the first Director General of Archaeological Survey of India. He chose mainly the sites mentioned in the British Buddhist text for this purpose. Here we can see in the picture. Here, Harappan civilization. Now we take the glimpse of Harappan civilization. This was discovered during the tenure of Sir John Marshall. Sir John Marshall. Because of this discovery, the antiquity of Indian history could be traced to 3rd millennium BCE or even earlier. So when these sites were excavated and under the guidance of Sir John Marshall, so we came to know that our history is very old, before 3rd millennium BC. Now, colonial historiography. Now, colonial, as earlier I said, we are learning the 3 kinds of approaches here. That is the ancient, medieval and colonial. So, colonial historiography when we were ruled by the Britishers. So, here colonial historiography is here the influence of British policies. You can see. So, many British officials in India wrote about the Indian history. Their writing displays strong influence of British policies. Strong influence. So here, in regards to that, 3 volumes of history of British India written by James Mill were published in 1870, and this was the first book. See, whatever book is written by the British officials or Britishers, whatever history they were writing about our country, they never consider our custom or our culture good. Always they used to say that their culture is best and Indians are because of them. Indians are because of them. So these was the things. So the history of India written by Mountstuart Elphinstone, governor of Mumbai. Now Mumbai was published in 1841. This was the first, you can see. So here also you can see the history of India, which is written by Mountstuart Elphinstone, governor of Mumbai. So here also what we can see, here also they were praising their own culture, not our culture. Always prejudices, you can say prejudices about various aspects of Indian culture. So in this also they used to praise their culture only. Grand Duffs, the British officer, wrote Maratha history. He wrote the book entitled The Marathas. See, Grand Duff. What he has written? The history of Marathas. That here also he says, as we know, Maratha history, the war of Maratha that didn't broke out. You can say that didn't break out in one day. It was a planned war. Now here, the Colonel Todds writing about Rajasthan's history. Here, Rajasthan history, which is written by Colonel Todds. Is it? So here also they didn't clarify. Always they praise their culture. Now next is coming that the 2 volumes written by William Wilson Hunter on Indian history. That is what? that is a history of British India. Here also in this book also they praise their culture. Never they said about Indian culture, and always they were saying that Indians are because of that they didn't have any kind of perspectives in their life. So this history was challenged by our Indian thinkers, the Indian historians, you can say, Nilkant Janardhan Kirtane and Vishwanath Kashinath Rajwade. These were the two historians who took upon the task of exposing the limitation of Grand Duff's writing, means the history which were written by the Britishers, and they were praising their glory instead of our glory. So the task of this task was taken by this historian to challenge their writings, who were Nilkant Janardhan Kirtane and Vishwanath Kashi Nath Rajwade. Indian historiography, various ideological framework. So Indian historiography, ideological में again the thinking. So first one is coming colonial historiography, second one is coming orientalist historiography, and the third one is coming nationalist historiography. In this lecture we are going to cover colonial historiography and oriental historiography. So let me tell you, colonial historiography means where the Britishers were praising their own culture, never they were saying. So you can see here missionary based, means here the early scholars who studied and wrote Indian history were mainly British officers. Now we are coming to the colonial historiography. This colonial historiography particularly written by British officer and Christian missionary base. So here missionary oriented, you can see a utilization, you can say colonial historiography based on missionary utilization and rule. First they used to impart education through their missionaries. If we take the education from their missionaries, then these educated people can be utilized for themselves. They can utilize for themselves. In this way they can carry out their rule very easily. So here we can say colonial historiography means missionary utilization and rule were the approach. Neglected the Indian culture. Colonial historiography neglected the Indian culture. They never glorified our culture, always glorified their motherland. Ridiculed the Indian culture as particularly backward and undeveloped. Means they always used to say Indians were undeveloped, uncultured, never have a culture. They learned the culture because of us. They were deprived of the skill also. Next, their writing justified the colonial. So when they were writing all these things in their book, so this says about their colonial rule. Means Cambridge History of India, published between 1922 to 1937, colonial historiography, that gives us the glimpse of colonial historiography. Means their writing justified, means whatever they were writing about our country or the history of India, so in that they used to praise their culture and neglecting the Indian culture. So that shows that we were under the colonial rule, the influence of the colonial rules. Here you can see this is the book which is written by them. So next is coming, that is orientalist historiography. Now what is orientalist historiography? See here, many European scholars felt curious about civilization and countries of East. East means our country, you can say. Then these scholars were known as Orientalists. Means they were very curious to know about the civilization of our country. So these scholars were known as Orientalists. So Orientalists studied the similarities between Sanskrit and some of the European language, and they focus more on Vedic tradition and Sanskrit literature. Their studies resulted into formulating the notion means idea, of an ancient language that could be the mother of Indo-European languages. Means therefore they, when they carry out their research, they thought that Sanskrit is the base, or you can say the mother language of all Indo-European languages, all Indo-European languages. In 1784, Sir William Jones founded Asiatic Society in Kolkata. Why he founded the Asiatic Society? It opened the doors for research in ancient Indian literature and history. So he is a Sir Jones, and this is a Asiatic Society in Calcutta. Or you can say Frederick Max Muller first translated the Sanskrit text Hitopadesh. He was the editor of 50 volumes of Sacred Book of East. What is the Sacred Book of East? Sacred means East means belongs to our country. East means belongs to our country. He was the great lover of Vedas. He was the great lover of the Vedas. He also compiled Rig Veda, which has been published in 6 volumes, and he translated Rig Veda in German also. As we know that Vedas, Rig Veda, Yajur Veda, Atharva Veda, this all he translated. Means they were the lover of the Vedas. Edward, another scholar, what he said, who has re-evaluated the Orientalist writings, has thrown light on imperialistic interest of Orientalist scholar. What he throws that in his writing he reflected what he reflected that the imperialistic nature of the colonial. So that's all, my children.